All right, again, so far we're at side, side, side congruency, side, side congruency, hypotenuse, leg congruency, and then today we're going to talk about angle, side, angle, or ASA, and angle, side, or AAS. And those are the two new postulates, and those are actually the last two congruency theorems that we're going to talk about. So then you'll have 5 that you should be comfortable with. At this point, you should kind of understand the basis of proving triangles congruent using different theorems, whether it's all 3 sides, whether it's a side, an angle and a side, a hypotenuse leg inside a right triangle. You should be somewhat familiar with it because now it's the same concept. We're still proving things congruent, but this time it's an angle, then a side, and then an angle, or an angle, and then a side. And if we look, postulate 21, and again, I don't care if you remember postulate 21, just remember angle, side, angle. We're given 2 triangles here. And in these 2 triangles, we're given that angle A and angle D are congruent. We're given that AC and DF are congruent. And then we're given that angle C and angle F are congruent. Here we have an angle being congruent with another angle, a side being congruent with a side, and then a second angle being congruent with a second angle. Therefore, we get angle, side, angle. After you've proven angle, side, angle, then you can say that ABC is congruent to DEF. Or maybe it's down here in theorem 4.6. Again, I don't care if you remember what theorem 4.6 says. Just know that it's the angle, side congruency. Maybe you're given an angle, a second angle, and a side. Notice how up here, it's the included side. Down here, it's the non-included side. And what I mean by that is up here, with angle, side, angle, you have to have an angle, and then a side, and then an angle following right in a row. Angle, side, angle. The side is in between the 2 angles. That's why it's included. Here we have an angle, and then an angle, and then a side. The side is not included. It is just one of the other legs. You have 2 angles and 1 side. The side is not included, or it's not in between the 2 angles. But after you've proven those 3, after you've proven an angle is congruent, an angle is congruent, and then a side is congruent, then you can prove that ABC is congruent to DEF. Hopefully you understand the concept of proving things congruent. If you have, then these are just 2 new ways. And again, these are just options. You can take more information and prove things congruent based on the information they give you. Let's look at this diagram right over here. Right away, we see 2 triangles that are connected. We see one triangle looks like RST, the other triangle looks like UVT. Both of them share point T, looks like. Both of them right away, we have 2 congruency marks. We have that RS is congruent to UV. You might be saying, why isn't it RS and VU? Well, because angle S and angle V are congruent. So if you look at the way we wrote RS and UV, that looks like UU, but it should be UV. S and V are corresponding, so they have to be written second. R and U are corresponding, so they have to be written first. How do I know that S and V are corresponding? Because S and V are congruent. And I know that because of the congruency symbols. There's one more thing, and this is kind of tricky, but I still think that you should be able to pick it up. This angle is congruent to this angle. Why? Why is angle RTS congruent to angle UTV? Because they are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent. And so if we look, we are given a side, an angle, and an angle. Well, there are two theorems that deal with one side and two angles. What you have to determine is the side included between the angles, or is it just off to the side? The side is right here. It is not in between the two angles, so it must be angle, angle, side, congruency. And we're actually going to skip example 2. It's there, but if you understood this, then you'll understand that. And that is just a big, nasty, hairy proof that nobody likes. It's smelly, too. Hopefully you understand congruency at this point. You should be comfortable with these 5 congruencies. If you need, or if you're not comfortable with them, then by all means, replay the tutorials on side, 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 angle, side, and hypotenuse, leg, and then today's angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side congruency. Because you should be able to use any one of those 5 at any given time. And if not, then you really need to take it on yourself to back up, replay the tutorials, and that way you can have more practice on it. On tonight's homework, you're gonna pretty much just focus on these 2 right here: angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle. But just understand that you have 5 congruencies now that you can use. And again, hopefully you don't have any questions on this. Hopefully you understand congruency. And if given enough information, hopefully you're able to use one of these 5 to prove 2 triangles are congruent. I would give you a word of caution, a quick hint. Make sure you remember corresponding sides or parts. Okay? We dealt with this a couple sections ago. We had corresponding sides or corresponding angles. And the reason I say be careful is because in example 1, we ran into a perfect example. Angle R and angle U are corresponding angles, even though they're written really goofy. Okay? If we were to redraw these 2 triangles, it would look like this. Where this is point T, this is point R and point U, this is point S and point V. And sometimes you have to redraw them in order to be able to see them in the right light or in the right way. Now that they're drawn like this, I can see, oh, RT and UT correspond. Angle S and angle V correspond. But it wasn't until we redrew them that you can really pick that out. Sometimes, especially on tonight's homework, I'm looking at multiple examples on tonight's homework that you might need to redraw the image so that you can identify the corresponding pieces. Either way, let's take a look at your homework tonight so that we can get a better idea of what you're going to be doing.